We're coming up on Thanksgiving, and at this time of year, we tend to refocus on what we're grateful for. Studies show there's psychological benefits of showing gratitude. That's why we have Dr. Holly McKenna with Dara Wellness joining us now to talk about how gratitude is actually beneficial to the person who is expressing things. So I am thankful for you. That's going to make me feel better, just like it hopefully makes you feel better.
Yes, Queen. It makes us both feel good. So gratitude is actually a happiness practice. It increases dopamine in our brain, which is that feel-good factor that, you know, when you have that chocolate cake or that pumpkin pie, I should say, really.
Yeah.
That's what's increased in the brain. And gratitude does that as well. So that helps improve our mood, decrease anxiety, decrease work stress and other types of stress. So it's actually super beneficial for our mental health.
Is this kind of the same idea as looking for the good? Like find the good, focus on the good, and then good things will happen?
Absolutely, it feeds on itself. So the gratitude practice actually does build, and it's something that's why a lot of times in November you'll see people talking about like having a gratitude practice and doing that daily kind of taking note of what you're grateful for helps the brain reprogram so it starts noticing the positive, because our brains are actually naturally inclined to notice and remember the negative. It's a survival tactic. But when we start doing this gratitude practice of maybe each day journaling or sitting down with your kids and saying, what are we grateful for today? And why is a big part of it. Like taking note of why you're grateful that the dog came and gave you, you know, some loves and cuddles when you came in, maybe because you had a hard day. Why I'm grateful for that. That helps the brain really start to notice the positive things and be like, you know what, that's something I can notice later and talk about with my kids when we're having our gratitude practice. And it builds. It really does. Over time, over months and years, it really does build and help you have more of a positive outlook in life.
I love that. Okay, so I think a lot of us probably thought that being grateful and having gratitude would give us some mental health benefits.
Absolutely.
But I was surprised in reading our notes before the interview. It actually has physical benefits too.
It really helps your heart. It helps your heart health. I mean, emotionally it helps your heart, but it also helps physically with your heart. It decreases blood pressure, helps lower cholesterol, all good things.
Wow.
Right? It also helps with sleep. It lowers the stress. So, you know, we talk about that stress hormone, that cortisol, and how that can kind of lead to increased blood pressure and difficulties with sleep and what have you. So it does the opposite of that. And then with time, that does help your health.
Yeah, so being thankful is good for your mental health, your physical health, and it doesn't have to stop with Thanksgiving. You can develop a practice now, even if you haven't been doing it all month, you can start at any time.
Absolutely.
Develop a practice now that you take through the rest of the year or into the new year.
Absolutely. It can be, you know, journaling like we said, or writing a letter of gratitude to someone. Even if you don't share that letter, it actually has the same benefits. So,
really?
Right?
But you should share the letter. Don't be grateful quietly. Let your people know.
Yes, share
I actually took a class in college where each week we had to write a thank you letter to someone in our lives, like our parents, our grandparents, things like that. It was such a great practice, and it was so nice to hear the feedback. So when you're grateful, it's good for you, but it's also good for the people that you're telling.
Absolutely, and it catches, and then they'll be expressing gratitude as well, and hey, that's just going to improve everything for everybody.
I love that. It'll spread, all those kindnesses will spread around the world. I love it. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Holly McKenna. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Well, I do too. All right, this weekend.